Good day everyone. Today, we will discuss about the OSI model. OSI model defines and used to understand how data is transferred from one computer to another in a computer network. In the most basic form, two computers connected to each other with LAN cable or the network media and connectors RJ45 sharing data with the help of NIC or the network interface card forms a network. But if one computer is based on Microsoft Windows and the other computer has Mac OS installed, then how these two computers are going to communicate with each other? In order to accomplish successful communication with computers or network different architectures, 7-layered OSI model or the Open System Interconnection model was introduced by the International Organization for Standardization in 1984 or the ISO. And here's the 7 layers of the OSI model.
Layer 7 of the OSI model is the application layer. Application layer is the OSI layer closest to the end user, which means that both the OSI application layer and the user interact directly with the software application. These application software are those that implement a communicating component. Applications such as web browsers that uses HTTP or HTTPS, for example, are Google Chrome, Firefox, and Internet Explorer, etc. This application uses application layer protocols. For Google Chrome, Firefox, and Internet Explorer, they uses HTTP or HTTPS. HTTP, HTTPS, FTP, NFS, FMTP, DHCP, SNMP, Telnet, IRC, INNPP. All of these protocols form application layer. These protocols form end uses by file transfer, email, web surfing, virtual terminals, etc. For file transfer, it uses FTP. For email, it uses SMTP. For web surfing, it uses HTTP or HTTPS. And for virtual terminals, etc., it uses Telnet. Application layers provide services for network application. These softwares allows the application layer to supply data to and receive data from presentation layer. Presentation layer is the 6th layer of the OSI model, also known as the translation layer, as this layer serves as a data translator for the network. The data which this layer receives from the application layer is extracted and manipulated here as per required format to transmit over the network. These data are in a form of words and numbers or the user's inputs, which will the presentation layer will transform this data into binary or into machine language that our computer will understand. This process is called translation. Also, the presentation layer reduces the number of bits that represent the original data. Before being transmitted, this process is called data compression. This data compression lessens the number of bits that is used for the original file. And as the file being compressed, its sending time are also lessened. Before data transmission, data are encrypted. For this process is called data encryption. The sender sends the encrypted data and then be received by the receiver as a decrypted data. SSL or Secure Sockets layer in presentation is used for encryption and decryption of data. Layer 5 of the OSI model is the session layer. This layer controls the connection between computers. It establishes, manages, and terminates the connection between the local and remote applications. Also, session layer helps in setting up and managing connections for the download or upload of data. Session layer has its own helpers called APIs or Application Programming Interface. NetBIOS or Network Basic Input-Output System is an example of APIs, which allows applications on different computers to communicate with each other. Before establishing a connection to a server, it will first send an authentication to know who you are. After the authentication, authorization is run to verify the user. Also, session layer helps for session management. Layer 4 of the OSI model is a transport layer. This controls the reliability of communication through segmentation, flow control, and error control. In segmentation, data received in session layer is divided into 3 small data units called segments, each segment containing port number and sequence number. Port numbers helps to direct each segment to the correct application, while sequence number helps to correct order to form a correct message for the receiver. In flow control, it controls the amount of data being transmitted. Example is the amount of data of a sender that can be transferred in Mbps and the amount of data that the receiver can receive. And the transport layer controls the data being sent and received in different devices. Error control. When data is not received, it uses automatic repeat request to retransmit the corrupted or missing data. Protocols of transport layer are the UDP or User Datagram Protocol and TCP or Transport Control Protocol. These protocols uses two services: the connection-oriented transmission and the connectionless transmission. TCP uses connection-oriented transmission, while the UDP uses connectionless transmission. Therefore, UDP is faster than TCP, and TCP enable us to resend lost data.
The network. The network is also called as the layer 3 of iOS. The network handles the routing of the data after the data arrives its layer, each frame data to the correct destination on outgoing. The transmission of TCP and IP is commonly known network from the internet. This layer also manage the mapping between logical addresses and physical addresses from IP address. This is accomplished through Addresses Resolution Protocol or the ARP. The data has been passed to the next required layer, which is the data link.
The link layer is concerned with the local delivery of frame between device and the same LAN. Data link frame. As this protocol, data units are called do not across the boundary of local network. Inter-network routing and global addressing are higher layer functions, allowing data link protocol to focus on local delivery, addressing, and media arbitration. This way, the data link layer analogous to a neighborhood traffic. Example of the data link protocol are Ethernet for local network area, multi-node, the point-to-point protocol TPP, HDLC, and ADCCP or point-to-point dual node connection. The Internet Protocol ICP IP, the data link layer functionality is contained within the link layer, the lowest layer of the descriptive model.
Layer 1 of the OSI model. Physical layer defines electrical and physical specification per device. The physical layer defines the relationship between a device and a transmission medium, such as a copper or optical cable. This includes the layout of pin, voltage, cable specification, hubs, repeaters, network adapter, host bus adapter, HBA used in a storage area network, and more. The major function and service performed by physical layer are: number 1, establishment and termination of a connection to a communication medium. Number 2, participation in a process whereby the communication resources are effectively shared among multiple users. For example, contention, resolution, and flow control. Number 3, moderation of conversion between the representation of digital data in a user equipment and the corresponding signal transmitted over a communication channel. These are a signal operating over the physical cabling, such as a copper and optical fiber, or over a radio link.
And that's all. Thank you.